Hello, African Confessions. I am back with another episode. There is a message that I want to share with you guys, and the message reads like this. How are you, Brother Nashi? I am also a 33-year-old woman. I am looking for help. I am struggling in my life. I saw a lot of people on your Facebook wall saying that they are getting help through the comment section. Can you please post my own story so that I can get help in the comment section? My story goes like this. My mother hates me so much, and it is not my mother only who hates me, even my father. He hates me with a passion. Some of my siblings, they also hate me so much, but mostly this hatred, it comes from my parents. So far, when I count, I have been married about 3 times and I have 2 children, but all of my kids, I have them with different fathers. Right now, I am living in a foreign country and my life is just painful. My children are living with my parents right now back home. I try as much as I can to send money and groceries back home. Like my other siblings, they do send money here and there and groceries. But as for me, when I try to do something good, especially for my mother, anything that I do for her, it's not good enough to my parents. No matter how hard I try, they'll keep on complaining, telling me to put more effort. My mother, when it comes to me, she has nothing good to say about me. All that I know from my mother, it is curses. My mother have never given me her blessings. She curses me each and every day. I love my parents so much, but the most painful part is that whenever I try to send them anything, they never say, may God bless you or anything. They will just curse you and they will tell you that what you have done is not even enough. They have never blessed me. I love my parents so much, but they do not love me at all. As for my mother, she goes around the village and she will be gossiping about me. And whenever she gossips about me in the village, she says bad and hurtful things about me. The way that my mother treats me, it's like I am not even her own child. Whenever I am home, there is never peace. My mother will be shouting. It will be like she doesn't even want me back home. She wants me to stay in a foreign country forever. She hates me that much. Whenever I visit her back home, she keeps on complaining and there will be no peace in the house until I leave. But the day that I leave and when I say that I am going back to the foreign country, that is when I'll start to see my mother smiling. But when I'll be staying back in the village, she will be so angry all the times. I am the firstborn in our family, and in our family, we are 6 children. I only have 1 brother, and none of them don't even send groceries like the way that I do. And if any of my siblings call my parents back home and if they tell them that on this side there is nothing, they don't have money to send groceries anytime soon, my mother will tell them not to worry, everything will be okay, God will bless them. And when I tell my mother that on my side I don't have anything to send her right now, I am in the process of looking for money so that I can send her some groceries. But if I don't send her on the date that I would have promised her, she will be so angry. It will be a big problem to an extent whereby my mother, she would threaten to chase my kids out of the house. My mother has done this. The moment that I failed to send her some groceries and money, I heard that she once chased my kids out of the house. I am in deep distress. I don't even know what to do anymore. I keep on having this disturbing dream, and whenever I have this dream, I will see my mother. My mother will be sitting at the crossroads at an intersection, but when she will be sitting cross-legged like that, she will be holding a winnowing basket in her hands. But whenever I try to get close to her, asking for her help, telling her how hard my life has become, she just ignores me like I am a stranger. She will keep on doing whatever she will be doing with her winnowing basket that she will be holding in her hands. Sometimes I do dream of my father, and in that dream, my father will be coming to me, but he'll be having these scary animals that will be prepared to attack me. And sometimes when I have this dream, my mother will take me to this certain house. Then my mother will give me this commandment, and she will tell me that I have to take care of this certain house that is in the village. Then my mother and my father in that dream, they will tell me that the reason why they want me to take care of that house that is in the village, they will say that it is because they are the ones that are responsible for the destruction of that house, and as their daughter, I have to follow their instruction, and that is the reason why I am having all of this bad luck. My parents, they want me to join them in this witchcraft that they are doing. No matter how hard I try to pray, but whenever I sleep, I keep on having these dreams, and in my dreams, I'll be there at that house that my parents keep on telling me in my dreams that they are the ones that are responsible for the destruction of that household. I have another terrible dream that keep on troubling me. In this dream, sometimes when I do not see my father flying across the sky wearing those scary black clothes, being accompanied by those scary wild animals, whenever I have this other dream and he will enter into the room that I will be sleeping, then he will force to have sexual intercourse with me. But all of this, it happens spiritually in my dreams. I have never had physical sexual intercourse with my father. Everything happens at night. Whenever I have this dream, he actually brags and he will tell me and he says, here you are in this foreign land. You think that you have hidden from me, but let me tell you, even if you go to America, even if you go to Europe, no matter where you go, even if you are hiding in this foreign land, I will always find you. You can never run away from me. My father has told me this several times in my dreams. I can never run away from him. Even when I came here, where I am staying right now in this foreign country, I thought that all of these dreams were going to stop. But now I can see that everything that my father told me, that no matter how hard I try to run away from him, you always locate me. No matter which country that I will go to, my father will always have that connection with me. At that time, in my dreams, you will be forcing to have sexual intercourse with me. And no matter how hard I try to fight him in my dreams, he will always have victory over me. My father once threatened me and he said, even if you were to migrate to America, you will come back in Africa with nothing, and you will die in this village, and you will be buried at that homestead that I keep on dreaming about. I once dreamt about my mother. In that dream, my mother was actually hitting me with a whip as if I was a cow. This used to happen in real life when I was still young. When I was young, what my mother used to do was that she will send me to the shops or maybe to one of her friends to buy something. On my way there, when I'll be still going to the shops, my mother will quickly follow me behind, but she'll be carrying a very big stick and she will start screaming at me. When I was still young, this always troubled me because I kept on asking myself, why does my mother treat me in such a way? Why does she complain that I am late, yet I'll still be walking to the shops? Growing up, I never heard my mother saying anything good about me. She never blessed me. She only cursed me. Curses are the only words that can come out of my mother's mouth. There was a time when me and my mother would go to these churches where there will be prophets that will be prophesying. So there was this other time that a prophet pointed a finger at me. Then that prophet told my mother that this daughter of yours, I can see and I prophesy that this daughter of yours, her own father is sleeping with her, not naturally, but spiritually I can see that there are bad things that are being done to this daughter of yours. My mother then pretended as if she also wanted me to get help, but she was just pretending, and she pretended as if she was not aware of the situation. At that time, there was nothing that I could do. I was just a little girl and I didn't understand anything. But on that day, when we returned back home, my mother got so angry when we were coming from church, and I just made a simple mistake. Then she started shouting at me, and she was like, "You are a dog. You are a dog, and you will die like a dog. You are a dog that have sexual intercourse with its own father." But it was not my fault. It was my father who was using all of his rituals to have sexual intercourse with me when I was sleeping. When I got pregnant with my second child, when my parents kicked me out of the house, I went and I just sat at the village market begging for help. I had my first child and I was carrying another child. I was so desperate. There was nothing that I could do. I needed to escape from the village, and my parents had kicked me out of the house. That is when I met another man. I didn't love this man, but he was the only one who was offering me help. He told me that if I wanted to run away from my situation, he had another plan to get me to South Africa. He said that he can only do this favor for me if I could date him and sleep with him. There was nothing that I could do because I was desperate. So I slept with that guy so that he can smuggle me into South Africa. When I arrived in South Africa, that is when I gave birth to my son. When I gave birth to my son, since I had not entered into that relationship with that man out of love, but because he had just taken advantage of me, I decided that I had to be separated from him. That is when I started living alone with my children. Everything was going well. I was having a lot of luck. Everything was going well in my life, and I spent about 2 years without going back home. I was not in communication with my parents. There was no way that they could place their curses on me anymore. My mother then started going to several witch doctors, and she was casting a lot of bad luck spells on me. I used to go to this certain church. That pastor told me that my mom back home, she was not playing around. She was actually visiting a lot of witch doctors so that she can cast a bad luck spell on me. They didn't want me to be blessed by God. But because I was going to church, all of their bad spells that they were casting on me, even the way that they were visiting a lot of witch doctors, it couldn't work on me. But now my parents have finally connected with me again. I am in trouble, my brother. There is no way I can run to. Like I told you, that my father told me that even if you try to hide in that foreign land, we are going to locate you. My parents have finally located me. Every time now, what happens to me is that whenever I find a job, I end up being accused of stealing or doing something bad, but I am not a thief. When I get into a relationship, that man that I'll be in a relationship with, he will just accuse me of cheating, yet I am a faithful woman. I am even called a prostitute whenever I try to date a man. When I go to the prophets, they always end up wanting to trick me into sleeping with them. I went to this other prophet, but I could not afford his services. I once even went to this other area in Zimbabwe called Chipinge, where a lot of powerful traditional healers come from to get help, but there was no help that was offered to me. I even went to this other area that is called Murewa. That is where I am in right now. I am trying to get help, but there is no luck. The problem that I am facing right now is that if I have money in my pockets, that money mysteriously disappears. It has been 3 years since I have been looking for help. Now I am staying with a man. I am desperate. That is the reason why I am in a relationship with him. And whenever I look at him, I can see that this man, he doesn't love me at all. He is just using me because he is the one who is providing food for me, and he's the one who is responsible for sending some groceries to my children. But he doesn't love me at more. But he doesn't love me at all. But what can I do? There is nothing that I can do. I am someone who is so lucky. If I go out of the house and if I start looking for work, in a minute, someone will just hire me. But the problem will be whenever someone hires me, that person will just change their mind. But that person who would have hired me, they will start being cruel towards me. Most of them, they will say that you are someone with bad character. They will accuse me of something that I don't even know. I don't know what to do anymore. I have tried running around looking for help on Facebook and on YouTube, but there is no help that is coming my way. I have prayed, I have fasted, but it is now getting worse. I know that my children are being mistreated by my parents. The way that my parents mistreated me when I was growing up, I know that even my kids, they are being mistreated, especially by my mother. But I don't want the same fate but I don't want the things that happened to me to happen to my own children. I don't know what to do anymore. Please help me, brother. Please help me. My parents are the one that are responsible for all of these misfortunes that are happening to me. Because of their witchcraft, I am suffering, and I don't want to be part of their witchcraft. I am suffering because I have refused to become a witch like them. Dear listeners, right there was a message that I received from Anonymous. Then one of our admins in China had to give us a translation, hoping that this story was not lost in translation. Please let us speak about this issue in the comment section. What do you do when you have prayed and you have prayed, but nothing seems to be changing? What do you do? Please let us speak with her in the comment section.